Basketball is one of the most popular sports in the world, with millions of fans tuning in to watch their favorite teams and players compete at the highest level. But what happens when those players get in trouble with the league? In this video, we'll be exploring some of the weirdest bans in NBA history, from players getting suspended for wearing the wrong shoes to bizarre off-court incidents. We'll take a deep dive into some of the most unusual and unexpected bans that have ever happened in the NBA. So, get ready to be shocked, amused, and maybe even a little bit confused as we explore NBA history's weirdest bans. These are the NBA's oddest bans in history. The NBA's 2013 policy on hair is by far the strongest. Iman Shumpert was well known for having recognizable hairdos. His flat top was more well known than his jump shot. Shumpert was an Adidas athlete at the time, so shaving the Adidas emblem off the back of his head didn't bother him. The Van Hammer was suspended by the league as soon as they learned about it, and he was forced to share a photo of his haircut before and after with the hashtag banned on Instagram. The NBA rulebook's Item 5, Section H says that players may only wear their shoes, which are the only items with commercial logos that they may wear. So I assume we won't be seeing anybody sporting a Nike swoosh or Jumpman emblem anytime soon. But there are certain additional haircuts that the NBA needs to ban. Jimmy Butler, meanwhile, has worn a variety of haircuts, so it wasn't exactly frowned upon. The NBA, however, made every effort to conceal his new hairdo. Jimmy decided to mock the NBA, so he donned his outrageous new outfit and attended Media Day. All of his media images for the remainder of the season, including those for advertisements, iconography, and television programming, featured his wild hair after getting this new style. The NBA had to get Jimmy back. But the greatest thing is that he removed his hair extensions as soon as he finished having his photographs taken. Because they used Butler's 2K photo for an all-star voting graphic rather than one of him from Media Day, so they wouldn't have to constantly show everyone his long hair. Nonetheless, since we were discussing Adidas, we must bring up James Harden, one of their key trademark athletes, because he signed a contract to work for Adidas back in some years. Yet before that, Harden has been associated with Nike since his days at Arizona State. Yet, he was seen leaving the movie theater wearing Air Jordan 5s a month after inking his lucrative contract. Harden was immediately summoned by Adidas, who instructed him to avoid sporting other labels in public, on the court, and even at home. But, outlawing a sneaker that let you leap higher was one measure that no one anticipated. Sports Propulsion Laboratories produced a pair of shoes in 2010 that let wearers leap higher. They said that you could jump about 3 inches higher with the shoes on. Yet, the NBA slapped the APL Concept 1 with a song by the band Hammer before the 2010 NBA season even started. Due to their employment of performance-enhancing technology, they were the first pair of shoes to be prohibited by the NBA. Yet, APL accepted the restriction on their sneaker rather than feeling humiliated over them. They produced 2 further versions that the NBA also outlawed in 2020. They pride themselves on being the only shoes the NBA has prohibited for increasing jump height. They go by the names Super Future and Concept X. Also, the iconic Nike Airships must be included if we are talking about prohibited footwear. In October 1984, Jordan entered the court wearing a pair of Nike Airships in the colors black and red. In a preseason matchup against the New York Knicks, he played in them. The NBA did, however, send a letter to Nike in 1985. His red and black Nike basketball sneakers were allegedly in violation of the NBA's dress code, according to the letter. The NBA maintains rigorous rules about the colors of the shoes worn by its players, requiring that they match the color of their jerseys. When they threatened to punish Michael Jordan with $5,000 for each time he wore the sneakers in 2000, Nike stepped in and offered to cover the cost. The NBA has also forbidden actions and comments made by players while they are on the floor. Cam Thomas was fined $40,000 for making the statement, "No homo." Already had nice-looking fellas, no homo, but you know how I go. The Timberwolves, who have never been a very strong team, were prepared to do anything to change that. In 2011, the NBA forbade the wearing of spectacles, and Dwayne Wade was suffering from severe headaches due to the intense lighting in NBA arenas. Jimmy Butler received a $15,000 fine for whatever it was he was doing in this location. And the Heat social media staff also tweeted about the celebration. What is happening with the NBA? The NBA forbade Dwayne Wade from wearing tinted glasses for his next game. Even though they weren't as tinted as he had wanted, he continued to wear the goggles. He nevertheless managed to stand out fashionably by donning a Flash Band-Aid and a USA flag Band-Aid. Even the musician Lil Wayne attended a game sporting one, but Wade went beyond. To prevent the wound from becoming infected, he applied a black Band-Aid to his severe wound. They fully banned him and said the NBA players may only use Band-Aids for medical grounds since they had grown wary of seeing their players use them as fashion statements. Yet, Sam Perkins opted to become the first player to ever wear a durag in a game in 2000. Thus, Band-Aids weren't the only item that the NBA decided to outlaw. Perkins was the first player to ever wear a durag in a game during the preseason. Immediately after the game, the NBA declared the durag to be a safety danger and banned it. When several of the NBA's top players began donning chains as Julius Erving did, it was his teammate Daryl Tonkins who put an end to it for everyone. The NBA promptly outlawed chains for everyone after giving defenders too many black eyes and realizing it posed a threat to everyone's safety. Jimmy Butler, though, was the subject of one of the strangest NBA suspensions, because he would chew straws before games instead of chewing gum. Yet, the only reason he began chewing straws was that he had a Mountain Dew addiction. The only method for him to overcome his addiction and reduce his anxiety was to chew straws. He would often consume 6 12-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew every day. But the NBA prohibited him from eating straws on the bench after learning about his habits. The NBA said that it was a safety concern and that they didn't want all of their fans to observe his risky behavior. The NBA's regulation requiring all players to wear identical headbands with the NBA emblem on them finally put an end to the suspensions that the players had grown wary of in the league. Players like Rajon Rondo began turning their headbands inside out as a protest against the NBA. And he would continue to do so until the NBA outright outlawed it and threatened to punish Rondo for every time he wore it. Rondo chose to quit wearing headbands altogether rather than violate the regulations. Rondo is not the only player who has had problems with headbands. However, Rasheed Wallace also tried turning his headband inside out to hide the NBA emblem. But that didn't work out either, since the league forbade players from doing so as well. The NBA jersey is now the best option for uniforms in the league, and the number is among its most crucial components. There are many famous jersey numbers, including the 23 worn by Michael Jordan, the 24 worn by Kobe Bryant, and the 6 by Bill Russell. But the number 69 has never been worn by an NBA player. We can all probably guess why this isn't permitted though. The only player who attempted to wear 69 was Dennis Rodman, who was ultimately forced to wear a different number. The NBA forbade Rodman from donning the number 69, but Cuban still has a number of the jerseys he had printed at home. And even that isn't the only jersey that the NBA has outlawed. So, having a jersey that we can't even see on TV is different than having a jersey with a number on it. The Milwaukee Bucks launched their Kareem City jerseys in 2019, but despite the odd name for a shirt, it isn't why they haven't worn one since that year. The jersey's genuine cream color is the reason they aren't allowed to wear them. The NBA's digital on-court advertising system is hampered by the color on the TV broadcast. The color of the jerseys mixes in with the court, making it impossible to view the digitally inserted adverts that are shown on the floor. I only believe that the NBA does not want the Bucks to wear Cream City branded jerseys. I think that's the most peculiar jersey name I've ever heard. Yet, the tattoos that NBA players have are even stranger. The strangest tattoos in NBA history may be seen here. What do you think about these bizarre bans? Do you think they were fair or unjust? Are there any other bans in NBA history that you think should have made the list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on NBA history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.